Happy Sunday, everyone. What an evening last night. Man, to go out to a restaurant, I mean, it's hard to find true authentic cuisine, right? Authentic Italian cuisine. Cuz I'm from North Van, there really isn't a good place there in North Van, real authenticity. So my buddy who's an Italian, well-off guy, family. He's a good organizer. So we go to a place called Tutto in Vancouver on Smythe, and man, we ate family style like the Italians do, which means just tons of dishes coming in, just sporadically at different times, so you can eat at a slow pace. And it was with 9 people. It was kind of another small celebration of life for my bro. Obviously, there was a main one a couple months back, but that's living, right? That's living. Being isolated by this, hi-fi thing, which it can do. You can cross a line where it's got you by the balls, right? Which it had me. And I know it has others. It's okay if you can't admit it, but it's got that kind of power, right? So today's topic, I'm just going to get a little bit into streaming here. And I know how I said streaming sucks. Well, I got to use some kind of strategy to bring people here. Like, I'm just a little flea sharing from the heart with no help, zero. But I've been streaming for a long time, actually. It's probably 13 years, and of course I started out with, I didn't even really understand how a hard drive worked inside there or about the apps that you can use. And Cambridge Audio was one of the first to do that. They really were. And Name's been doing it a long, long time. And I don't know how many streamers I've had. I've had so many, all the way from, I don't know, $300 up to 10 grand, right? And I'm just here to tell you again, which I preach, cost does not matter, because I've had products that are half the price that have exceeded the expensive ones musically. In a way, again, that I will always talk about. Takes you a while in this hobby to know what I mean by being emotionally connected. Like, you come into the room and you put it on when you first get it, and something just happens. It's like a jaw-dropping experience. Like, oh, this isn't even close to what the last piece was. It just blows it away. It's just, I know the word, it's just better. So, I mean, I've moved up the line. So, for me, a high-end streamer, after, moving along the budget lines, the first one I can say that's kind of the pioneer of high-end streaming, and when I say that, I mean the application itself. The navigation is just as good as the product itself. Sound-wise, aesthetically, it's got to be there, guys. The navigation, the application. So a Render, right? What a company. Just a kick-ass company. I mean, the Conductor app is a superb app. Again, you can have them with hard drives or not, or you can have them with built-in DACs. For me, when I had separates, which I just don't anymore, I will always just have a bare bone streamer. Because the only component I would swap out here and there when I had 12 would be the DAC after a while, right? It's just my suggestion to have the separates. You don't really want to locked into a certain flavor of DAC sound, or maybe you do because it's getting you here, and that's great, because that's what I'm preaching here, is getting you to the destination where you're done, and now you can enjoy the music, like my last video talks about. But so our Render, yeah, the little N100H, absolutely superb. And then you got to look at the customer support from the companies as well, which you can access right from the app, man, and they can tap right into the player and fix any kind of bugs. So that really opened my eyes to what's possible, right? And I already talked about in a couple videos ago, how streaming can be a double-edged sword. How you can't even sit there and let a song play, for that matter, album or song for that matter, play, and you're already going to the next one. So it's hard to even engage with the music because it's so easy to do that. So there was a few changes, and again, the price range went up. So I went from there to the A10, which actually had a dual mono DAC in there, and it was like a preamp. So because I wanted to use that with some active speakers that I had. It was good, but the DAC, it almost felt like an afterthought to me, and that was an $8,000 piece, right? So I've always preached, just if you want a preamp, I know there's been stuff said online that you don't need a preamp. That's bullshit. I'm sorry, I've done all the comparisons, man. My Wolfear 2 rectified preamplifier just blew any digital source away when it comes to having just a top-notch volume control. It's the brain of the system. So I go against what's been said online about that. You just can't say it. There's too many top-notch preamplifiers out there. I'm not there anymore. Again, I got the Bel Canto, but yeah, so that didn't stay that long. I wasn't impressed. Like, I even preferred the N100H because it was basically one purpose component. You know, it didn't have all that other stuff built in. So that went, and then my, the brain, the squirrel mind started going, okay. And then I tried the Orlick, also another superb product. I had the Mini, and then I had the G1. And I had a transport only, which I really like. But guys, the sound, I've been doing it 30 years. It just was clear. It was clear to tell that it was digital, right? And my mission is to get as close to the turntable sound as possible for me. And again, I got nothing bad to say about the product. The app is absolutely superb. The customer support is awesome. So I went from there to the Lumen T2. I'm a big separate power supply believer, so I went with the S Booster, which is great. Those are great power supplies. Again, great app, great aesthetic. And I actually got inside it, and I knew what I was getting ahead of time there. I just can't. A circuit board and a fancy chassis for $8,000. Wow. No, guys. It was a no too. There was glare. It wasn't even close, man. There was just too much going on. Too much at the party, so to speak. I do like people at the party. I do. It can't be overly smooth or almost like lifeless. There's got to be detail and a little bit of life to the music. So, where did I go from there? And then, I think there was another step or two, and then I finally arrived at INNUOS. And again, it wasn't even near the cost of those players. I went with the sweet spot because I always do the research, and I look at, the Zen Mark III, Zenith Mark III. Exact same chassis, exact same power supply, but double the price. So the changes would be minimal inside the unit, just minimal. Maybe the caps are better, very minimal for that much money. So I went with the Zen MK3, and it changed my life when it comes to what digital is capable of. I've only had maybe 4 jaw-dropping experiences in the 30 years when a piece came into the room. The Line Magnetic was one, Spatial was another, Pure Fidelity there. And maybe the Yolita Music Envoy 211 monoblocks, and then that, man. So although I moved on from it, I was able to have the Bel Canto and use it and compare it in all those areas, right? And that's why I made that move. I had no idea it would do it. I almost call the Bel Canto like the INNUOS of integrateds, but it's not even close for me, guys. I don't even care what else is out there. If I was going to go insane and start redoing it again, repeating the same thing, expecting different results, that's insane, right? That's the definition of insane. It would be INNUOS all the way. So I'm telling any of you that can afford it, you don't know what streamer to buy, start with the Pulse. Just do it. Just get the little entry, look for one on the used market, even the Zen Mini. I'm recommending the product 100% if you're a digital listener. The app is superb. The sound is just so, because I have a high-end analog front end, so I can do the comparisons, right? It's INNUOS all the way, man. I got nothing bad to say about the other products. They're good and stuff, but when it comes to connecting, there was no comparison. So that's it. Again, I've done videos on it. INNUOS is king to me. So Have a great weekend. Thanks for the support. Guess what? This is the first time I've said this in a year, and I'm going to do it because I have to now. Please like and subscribe to my content so it motivates me and keeps me driven. Like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.